Good morning. I'm Steve Jurens with your live Northeast Radio SD News for Friday, February 6th, 2026. Your news this hour is brought to you by Watertown Development Company, Watertown's established economic growth and development professionals. Check out the no-cost online courses available to help local entrepreneurs. Learn more at wdcsd.com under the Events tab. The Watertown Development Company equals economic mobility. Local student leaders from Watertown, Millbank, and Florence recently returned from a high impact visit to the state capitol as part of the Capital City Experience on February 3rd and 4th. These students, serving as state officers for various career and technical student organizations, met directly with lawmakers to advocate for their future career paths. Representing our area were Kaya Vandermeer from Watertown, Rylan Wendland from Millbank, and Dawson Hlacek and Emma Caulfield from Florence. They joined peers from across the state to observe committee meetings and discuss policy impacts on sectors such as healthcare, business, and agriculture. Amy Miller, Director of Career and Technical Education, noted that this offers a unique view of the current issues affecting their future careers. For more information on these leadership programs, visit doe.sd.gov. U.S. Representative Dusty Johnson is leading a massive coalition of 47 House colleagues in a fight to protect American shippers and consumers. In a formal letter sent to the Surface Transportation Board this week, the group demanded a, quote, rigorous and comprehensive, end quote, review of the proposed merger between Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. If approved, the deal would create a 55,000-mile transcontinental railroad, handling nearly half of all U.S. rail freight. Johnson, representing a state heavily reliant on agricultural exports, warns that further consolidation could drive up prices for everyone from farmers to consumers. The federal board has already rejected the initial application as incomplete. The railroads have until February 17th to decide whether to refile a revised plan. A legendary chapter of South Dakota naval history is finally receiving the nation's highest honor. President Donald Trump will award the Medal of Honor to retired Navy Captain E. Royce Williams, a native of Wilmot. Williams's story reads like a movie script. In 1952, while flying an F-9F Panther, he engaged 7 Soviet MiGs in the only direct overwater dogfight between the U.S. and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Because of the geopolitical sensitivity of the area, his heroics were classified for over 60 years. Senator Mike Rounds, who led a decade-long push for this upgrade, called Williams a, quote, real-life Top Gun, end quote. After having his Silver Star upgraded to a Navy Cross in 2023, a recent provision in the Defense Act finally cleared the path for this highest military distinction. A new children's book launched in Watertown is turning a local legacy into a mission of kindness. Author Julianne Endries and illustrator Rebecca Hall have released Little Bug Earns Her Spots, a story inspired by Emily Holt, a young girl who passed away from cancer in 2002. Emily was well known for her love of ladybugs, and this book follows a little bug who must earn her spots through good deeds. Most importantly, 100% of the royalties from the book sales this year will be donated to Make-A-Wish South Dakota and Montana, the same organization that granted Emily a wish during her illness. You can find the book on Amazon, and the authors will hold a special signing at DDR Books, downtown Watertown, on March 14th. And quick action by Watertown Fire Rescue prevented a vehicle fire from turning into a residential disaster early Thursday morning. At approximately 6:45 a.m., crews were dispatched to the 1700 block of 16th Avenue Southeast, where they found an SUV with flames venting from the engine compartment. Because the vehicle was parked very close to the home, There was a high risk of fire spreading to the structure. Firefighters from Engine 4 used a rotary saw to access the engine and quickly knock down the blaze. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and the home sustained no damage. The Watertown Police Department assisted at the scene, and although the fire was contained within 30 minutes, the cause remains under investigation. The South Dakota Department of Transportation is inviting you to weigh in on how the state handles routine road projects. Working with federal officials, the South Dakota DOT has released a draft of the 2026 Section 106 Pragmatic Agreement. This agreement is designed to streamline environmental reviews for projects that are unlikely to affect our state's historic sites. By moving away from project by project reviews for routine work, officials hope to improve efficiency and maintain consistency across the board. The current agreement is set to expire in August, and the new draft is available for review on the SDDOT website. Public comments are being accepted through Wednesday, March 4th. You can submit your feedback via email to the environmental scientist, Emily Calhoun, or through the SDDOT Environmental Office webpage. Link attached to the article on northeastradiosd.com. Your news this hour is brought to you by Watertown Development Company. Watertown's established economic growth and development professionals. Check out the no-cost online courses available to help local entrepreneurs. Learn more at wdcsd.com under the Events tab. The Watertown Development Company equals economic mobility. Read full in-depth stories online at northeastradiosd.com. If you enjoy our daily news recap podcast and live interview uploads, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, delivered straight to your inbox every morning at 6 a.m. And with today's local and state news from Northeast Radio SC Studios in Watertown, South Dakota,